Hey YouTube, it's your girl Jamina Love back with another video. Welcome back, welcome back. How are you doing, my busy bee? Staying busy, I hope. Keeping it sexy. Always, darling. Even though these bags don't lie, they work. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? I hope it was great. Mine was very tiresome, you know. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I requested for some prayers for my family. We've been kind of going through it, and my granddaughter had an accident, and she got hurt pretty badly, but she bounced back beautifully. So I figured I would give you guys a little follow-up on that and let you know. Right now I'm using Hard Candy's concealer. I don't know why I just put it away. I found this at my local $1.99 plus store for 79 cents. And I figured, let me give it a try. I mean, they had the concealer for 79 cents. They had the Wet n Wild powder foundation for $1. And I was like, yes, please. Because it's not the price of the makeup. It's the quality of the makeup. And Wet n Wild and Hard Candy have got some pretty quality stuff, you know. So I figured I'd put that on my eyes to do this look. Since I'm not going to use any eyeshadow, I'm sorry, any foundation for this look, I'm going to use a little concealer and powder to fix these poor, pitiful, dark rings that I've got. So, traditionally, we'll talk about Thanksgiving, I guess. Traditionally, I have always been the sous chef for my grandmother. And she's been gone now for a few years. And so I was all alone this year. So I didn't sous chef for my mom because of what's been going on in the world. But I was all alone and having to reflect on myself, and depression set in. And so I needed prayers for that. Help me, you know, really get me out of that dark space. And it took a lot. I prayed so much. I still don't feel that it is remotely any better. I feel that this is just the tremor before the earthquake, before the aftershocks, you know. I'm going to set my concealer because I didn't want it to crease, and I can see a little bit of creasing going on. But once I put that little bit of powder down, it did not crease much more than that, so that's good. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way powder that I got in a BoxyCharm, because, you know, you go classy like that. Like name brands from subscription boxes, because that's what, you know, the way to beat the system. Not gonna lie, that is the only way to beat the system, to get some name brand stuff. But if you're into some indie brands, you can also beat that system too. And if you're into lashes, get your Lashy box on. This came in Lashy box. It is the Ruby May Peppermint Mocha palette. I've been playing with it for a minute, and I've been in love with, oops, sorry, my hand is quite weak today after all that chopping. In love with those greens. As you see, I've been just really eating up this bottom row, and I figured I better touch some of these other ones. And I wore cream so that it wouldn't be too much of a color collision. That's what my brain was telling me. Don't overwhelm the color collision, because I like to use more than, you know, 5 colors in a look. But this time I figured I better calm it down a little bit. So I'm going to go into the color called Gingerbread, which is this beautiful brown orange neutral shade, and pack that into my, under my brow, under my socket of my eye, to give me some definition in there. But yeah, so I'm cooking alone, reflecting on life, and right before my morning nap, because when I, as a sous chef with my grandmother, we would traditionally get up at midnight. And that's even for Christmas. We get up at midnight and we start busting a move on everything. And so I did that by myself. I got up, had coffee with God, and reflected on my life, sang a little gospel music, and cooked a stuff. I used the chicken breast at this time. I didn't do turkey because I, as my diet, I eat a lot of ground turkey year round. So I was like bored of turkey. So I figured I would definitely jazz it up a little bit. And that's what I did. I jazzed it up with doing a kind of romantic dinner where I take the stuffing and I stuffed the chicken breast and baked it, wrapped it in bacon, and then I did all the traditional side dishes. I did candied yams, collard greens. Well, I did mustard greens with cabbage and cornbread, biscuits, made 6 different desserts, potato salad, the whole spread. And then as I look at it all in all my glory, I get a phone call that my grandbaby is in the hospital with 2nd-degree burns. And thank God it skipped her face. She just brought it down her arm and her chest. She is such a vibrant little doll. Not gonna lie. She can brighten up almost any cloudy day that I feel sometimes. Okay, so this color is called Candy Cane. And it's the red that's in there, the red shimmer. She cute. Yeah, she was in there for 6 hours. They didn't have to do skin grafts, thank God. Because, I was there in the parking lot waiting and ready if she needed any skin grafts, you know. But she was good. And she should be good. It should just only do some discoloration of her skin, which will be fine because there's all kinds of beautiful creams out there now that we can use to, make sure it's all nice and smooth and doesn't affect her in the long run. She's only 1, so that's why I was so depressed and heartbroken, My words of wisdom on Instagram were the same that my grandmother had gave me, because my son, I was on his butt like white on rice. He wasn't home, he was at work. This was, her mother trying to cook her something to eat quickly and clean up her mess quickly, which caused her to not move the cup back far enough on the counter. I'm going to go into mocha and richen up my corners and my crease and give myself a little wing. But yeah, thank you all for your kind words of wisdom. That did hit me on Instagram. It did get me a couple hours of sleep, because other than that, your girl has not slept in a couple days. I mean, even though I just said it's the day after Thanksgiving, I haven't slept. I just have been so worried about my grandbaby. And worried about, that really did distract me from worrying about my grandmother and my grandfather, because my grandfather's still here. But his dementia is so bad that he thinks I'm my grandmother, which really hurts me to my core, because I want him to see me. And after I lost all my weight, he doesn't see me anymore. He just sees his Susie Q. And I know he misses her. And he wants to go home, to visit his family in the upper room and be with her. This is Whip, which is a silver. And I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to put that in the inner corner. And I don't blame them, you know. I started feeling that way yesterday, not gonna lie. So I reached out on Instagram, and I also reached out to the crisis hotline because I don't feel suicidal, you guys. I've never had the thoughts to hurt myself or to kill myself, but the pain that I feels that way. You know, I tried to do everything in my power to make myself feel better, and a few things that I do to make myself feel better are tricks that my grandmother taught me that most people don't quite understand. She told me, you know, to find a movie if I ever wanted to hurt myself, which I never did, and reflect on the star or the screamer. So Halloween was her thing because Jamie Lee Curtis was a survivor, and she would tell me to focus on her as that's how strong I am, that's who I am, I'm the survivor of this movie. I'm not going to just give up, and I'm not going to just die. And that helped a lot when I was growing up, I'm not going to lie. That really did. It does seem weird, but it is helpful to a child who really, really, really wanted to live my life within the movies. So I advise to you, just like my girl Simple Steph advised to us every video, and I appreciate it. When you're feeling down or feeling blue, don't wait. Call that person, because they may not be here long, and you may not get that chance to say what you want to say when you wanted to say it, you know? So it's best to say it now. Even though your relationship may not be good, you know, they may not want to talk to you, at least you said it and got it out into the universe before they passed away. And I believe that, because I cannot say regretfully, but honestly, I said everything I needed to say to my grandmother. She knew I loved her so much. She knew she was my world. I told her every day. Every day. You are my world. You are my superstar. You are my everything. And she would tell me, don't put me on such a high pedestal, because you won't be able to reach me. And that is true. That is very true. Now that she's up high, I can't reach her. So that is very, 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 very true statement. And I try to embody that to, you know, just to understand it for myself. I tell my kids that all the time. They tell me how wonderful I am and tell me how talented I am, and I tell them, don't put me on such a high pedestal, because you may put me so high, but you may not be able to reach me. So I'm used to Hank and Henry Blickety Black liner. No, this is blue. Yeah, it's the Blickety Blue. But it looks dark enough in black on me, right? I really don't see the blue. But that works. Now I know not to just be grabbing out of here. But I'm just going to give myself a light wing. And since we've been on these masks, I've been saving so much money on foundation. How about y'all? Because we haven't been able to wear it except on our foreheads and our upper cheek area. I've been saving so much money on, you know, usually I have to buy a foundation once at, 60 days or so. If it's not for my changing of my skin tone or change my hair. But now I don't have to do that. I haven't been running out as quickly as I usually would. So thanks, Rona, for that, I guess. And I'm just going to do what you call it eye, natural eye, with my, this is the Better Than Sex liner, or mascara, I'm sorry, not liner, mascara, and it is actually one of the ones too that remind me of the Thrive, because it gives you a lot of lift and definition. I'm going to show you that, you know, compared to this one, no lash, it does help with those pitiful lashes. I just don't like the wand, because the wand touches my upper lid, which makes me have to put on a liner, when sometimes when I say I want to go natural eye, I don't want to put a liner on the top, but the mascara touches my upper lid and causes a little bit of dots. So I'm like, oh, gotta fill that in with mascara, and then gotta fill those dots in with liner. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I want you all to have yourself a very, very, very Merry Christmas. I know everyone, including my mother, has gone to town on their houses and starting to put their trees up. Put a shiny star, you know, up for me, because this year is going to be extremely hard. I've been trying for the last 2 months to explain to my children about me losing my job, and I understand you're like, well, they're children. Yeah, they are. You know, he's 7 and 16. My 16-year-old suffers from autism, and my 7-year-old has ADHD, and he may be on the spectrum, and it happened, like, he changed right after his immunizations for school. Before that, he was so bubbly and bright and out there in the world like you would not believe. But now he's very quiet, and then he gets his angers and his loudness going. It just is one of those things, honestly, that I'm trying to educate myself on and trying to understand, and I'm just not getting it. You know, your girl's just not quite getting it. So I'm just taking what's left of that hard candy and I'm putting it where I would normally brighten up my forehead, my nose, fix these eyes, conceal, all that down there. And it's the same hard candy. It comes in a squeeze, so I'm using a little bowl off to the side. I want to make sure you see that. So it's very sanitary, which I like. Not like this guy that comes with a fuzz ball on it. This is the Milani. I took the fuzz ball off because it's not sanitary to just that over and over again. So yeah, I've had a serious reality check for myself that it's just too hard to explain to my kids why we don't have a tree, or we may not have a tree, because whatever little money we get in has to go to the lights and to the rent. Now that I have no job, I don't have that extra. Well, I never really did have extra, but now I really don't have any extra income that I can put away. I've seen that some people have put out some Instagram posts with their Prime, their Amazon wish lists, their Walmart wish lists. I don't have the courage to do that. I don't even have the courage to ask you guys to participate in something like that right now. I shouldn't feel like this, you know. As far as my family, they tell me you shouldn't feel that way. You should feel, you know, you're very sweet, you're very kind, you're very humble. You shouldn't feel like you have to, I don't know. I don't feel like I should be asking my friends and family for help, but I may have to. I really do. I did put my Cash App Zap code on Instagram in my bio. It's in my pictures in my bio if anyone would like to help. Because I'm not going to have it this year. It's just going to be really hard. And I didn't even know it until after I did all my collabs, Secret Santas and things like that. I did not know it was sprung on me. So it wasn't like I knew I was going to lose my job from having to have this surgery. Basically, the doctor told me until the tendon is healed to the bone, I will not be able to work with this arm. And even then, for a year, I won't be able to work for my client because I have to get physical therapy and muscle strengthening to get the bone to come back the muscle to come back the way it should. But what do y'all think? You know, I always need a little extra setting powder, but I like the way this concealer concealed. Kind of looks like foundation. It's very smooth. And for $1, you can't beat that, where it actually is like really, really smooth. Like, I mean, I know I have these creases right here, and they're natural. It's going to happen. It's not going to go away. But I just pulled it down just a little bit and saw a little liquidiness there. So I'm going to just tap this setting powder in there and bake it out just a little bit. You know. And I really do like this setting powder. I really do like the one size setting powder too. It melts into the skin. Whatever formula he came up with, it melts in the skin like the Becca Hydra Mist. But you have, you know, with his, you can still brush it away. With the Hydra Mist, you can't bake whatsoever. It will definitely melt into the skin, the Hydra Mist, and you will be having splotches. But with this one, it worked out great. And that is it. That's the Peppermint Mocha from Ruby Ray. Ruby May. I don't know why I keep saying Ray. Thank you. If you stumbled upon this video, thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry you stumbled upon this one, but I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you're usual here, hi. How you doing, sis? How you doing? How my nephew's doing? Give me a like. Leave me a comment. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.